Hey everyone, I'm back with another tutorial. So in this tutorial we are going to make a sci-fi robot. So let's get started. So first of all we are going to add a UV sphere. Now resize it with S. Press S and resize it. Now move it along Z axis and press Ctrl 4 to apply subdivision. Now add cylinder and resize it by pressing S. Press S and Z to resize it along Z axis. Now move it along Z axis. Press G and Z. Now go to edit mode by pressing tab. Select bottom vertices of cylinder. Go to toggle X-ray mode. Select bottom vertices of cylinder and press S to scale it. Scale it like this. Now it becomes a cone. Select the top face of cylinder and rotate it along Y axis. Press R and Y and 30. Now press Ctrl R to add loop cuts. Select bottom two parts. Press 2 and select bottom two parts. Move them along Z axis. Move them along Z axis. Now select the bottom part. Actually rotate it. Rotate it along Y axis like random rotation. Now we have to select the top edges. Press Shift and Control and select all edges and press Ctrl B and drag the mouse to apply width. We have applied bevel modifier. Now press Ctrl 4 to apply subdivision modifier. Now it becomes smooth. Drag the sphere along Z axis. Press G and Z. Make sure it touches the cylinder. Adjust the sphere along Z axis and X axis like this. Now we have to go to top view. Select both objects. Now you can see there are two little dots here which acts as origin point for both objects. Now we have to shift the origin point to 3D cursor. Right now 3D cursor is at the center of X and Y axis. Now select both and press Ctrl J to combine them. Now we have only one origin point. We are going to shift it to 3D cursor. You can see 3D cursor is at the center of X and Y axis. Set origin point to 3D cursor. Now while rotating this object along Z axis, this origin point acts as a pivot. Now select the object, go to tab mode, press A. Now go to spin duplicates and drag the mouse. Just object will be duplicated. Go to spin menu, enter steps and change the angle. Enter 240. Now we have duplicated the object two times with an angle of 240. Now place a circle, resize it, press S to resize it. Go to tab mode, select all vertices, press A to select all vertices and extrude it along z-axis. Now select all top vertices. Go to toggle mode, select all top vertices, press F to form a face and do the same for bottom vertices. Press F to form a face. Now apply bevel along the edges. Select bottom and top edges. Press Ctrl B to apply bevel and drag the mouse. Now go to object mode and press Ctrl 4 to apply subdivision. Now move the circle along z-axis. Press G and Z. Now hide the legs. Before hiding it, let's rename it. I am renaming them as legs. Now rename this as disc. Place a cube, resize it by pressing S. Make sure top face is bigger than the bottom face. So select the top face and press S to resize it. After scaling the cube, select all edges and apply bevel by pressing Ctrl B and apply subdivision. Press Ctrl 4 and move it along z-axis. Place it on the disc. Now add a sphere. Resize it little bit. Resize it little bit. Now move it along z-axis. Now place a cube. Resize it. Move it along z-axis. Place it around the UV sphere. Reduce the size of cube along y-axis. Scale it down. Now select the cube first. Select the cube first, then UV sphere, and go to sidebar tools. Go to edit under bool tools. Apply intersect. Now you can get this shape. Now place another cube. Now place another cube, resize it along z-axis. Now select the cube first, then the UV sphere, apply difference. Now we have applied Boolean operations, difference and intersect. If you couldn't find Boolean operations in your Blender tool, please read the description. You can enable it. Now place a cylinder, resize it by pressing S and resize it along Z-axis. Press S and Z. Rotate it along X-axis. Press R and X and move it along Z-axis like this. Select the cylinder and apply shade smooth. Then select sphere, apply difference. Now we can get this shape. Now go to edit mode, select the above half and under separate select the selection. Now the above half becomes a new object. We have separated it. Let's rename it as head upper. Now rename the below one as head lower. Let's unhide the legs. Let's adjust this a little bit, like this, little bit. I think it's enough. Yeah, fine. Now add a UV sphere, resize it like this and move it along z-axis. And move it along y-axis. Now place it here. It acts as an eye. Now duplicate it by pressing Shift plus D and move it along y-axis and resize it. Place it like this. Adjust the eyes and above little bit. It's up to you. Let's go to camera and change the resolution to 1080 along x-axis. Now go to camera settings, change the type to orthographic and shift the y-axis. Now we have to select all above parts. You can see each object has their own individual origin points. Now select them all and set origin to 3D cursor. So we can rotate all objects along z-axis easily. As you can see, I already have selected them. Now set origin to 3D cursor. If you observe, there is a yellow dot at the center of x and y axis. That is the new origin point. So now we can rotate all at once easily along z axis. Now press R and Z to rotate them 90 degrees. Press R, Z and 90. Now select the legs and rotate them along z axis. Press R and Z like this. Now we are going to add a plane which acts as a ground. Press Shift A and add a plane. Now scale it by pressing S. Now select the plane, go to material settings, add new material to it. Let's rename it ground. Now select the base color. It's up to you, it's your choice. I'm gonna select something closer to mud color. You can create your own color palettes and bring up your creativity. If you want, you can search for references in Pinterest or Google or Dribble or Behance, any other design related website for inspiration if you want. So I'm selecting the base color of head. I applied a new material to the head. Now I am selecting the base color. So I increase the roughness to 0.8. Same thing, apply material to the eyes also. Increase the roughness to 0.8. Now you can see there is a small eye. Select the small one first and the big one later. Now press Ctrl L and select materials. Now both eyes will have same material. So now select the below part of the head. I mean head lower. Go to material settings and apply new material and select the base color. As I said, it's up to you. The color choice is yours. But I'm gonna select something related to brown. So I'm gonna be applying materials to each object. So I'm gonna speed up this process. Same technique, just click each object, go to material settings and select new material and select base color. That's it. So I'm gonna speed up this. Now let's go to render settings. This time we are going with Cycles engine. So now let's select denoising render and also select adaptive sampling, and let's see what happens if we render it. So now we have rendered the image. So we can see the output for render image. I think we should change the light. So right now light is in point mode. I think we should change it to sun. I mean type of the light. So let's go to render settings to see it. Now select the light and change the light type to sun and change the strength and change the angle, let's say 40 or 20. Keep experimenting with the values, I mean with certain combination of values until you feel satisfied. Now let's go to color management and apply some contrast. Under look, select medium contrast. Now let's render the image again. You can see the image is rendering. I think it looks amazing. So I guess I'll stop it here. So this is the final output of our render image. So as I mentioned previously, you can experiment with colors or materials. Just go to Dribble or Pinterest or any other related websites. Search for some inspiration, look at other Blender artists also. consume lot of content. You can see the current image here. We have achieved matte finish look because we have applied roughness to the materials. You can observe edgy look and roughness to it. Later I have applied sharpness to it. Sometimes it requires a small amount of fine tuning. Even after you got rendered image, I mean final image, you can fine tune it up to some extent, right? I mean increasing sharpness, contrast or RGB values, etc. And this one is the second variation I tried later. You can see the shiny look here. You can get this shiny look if you won't set any roughness while applying materials to the objects, I mean in material section. So I guess that's it for now. Search more and get inspired from internet. And if you like this video, please subscribe and share this. It would be really helpful to me. And I will be back with another interesting tutorial soon. I will see you later.